Is your team ready to soar to new heights? At CTL Africa Leadership, we specialize in transforming potential into performance. Whether it's mastering winning with people, enhancing emotional intelligence, decoding human behavior, or strengthening team leadership, we've got you covered. Dive into personal leadership and elevate your corporate governance standards. Our tailor-made programs are designed to unlock your team's full potential. Don't settle for ordinary. Be extraordinary. Book a discovery call with CTL Africa today, and let's design a development program that transforms your team. Visit our website www.ctlafricaleadership.com. Hello and good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the Leadership Platform powered by CTL Africa Leadership. Welcome everyone who is joining us. We're always excited to have you on this very interesting, extraordinary space where we learn all about leadership. My name is Joy Bonsu-Schmutz, and it's a joy to be here with you every weekend with the team to share ideas, to expand our knowledge, and to improve the quality of our leadership. Joining you from Accra this evening, it's a very cool evening, and I want to know where you are joining us from. So please use the chat, use the comment section to introduce yourself. We'll be happy to know who is joining us tonight. We just want to acknowledge our team. Sarah Jessie is joining us here from Geneva. Uncle Sam is here, and the entire crew, CTL, who always bring this session or this show to you so that we can all elevate our leadership levels. Thank you so much. In the past weeks, we've been on the press, we've been in the news, all over the place, because one of the greatest conferences this year is coming up soon in October, Live2Lead conference. We had a press launch, and we've been started our media tour. And we just want to give you guys a sneak peek of what's been happening. But then just before I do that, I want to just introduce a few people joining us. So please put it in the chat or in the comment section, and we'll be happy to introduce you. I also just want to encourage you to subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed to our channels on Facebook and on YouTube, or share the link with your WhatsApp community, your Facebook community. We'll be happy to just share this learnings with your network as well. So thank you so much. We have joining us Conrad from Winneba. Hi, Conrad. Thank you for always being here to support us. And I want to say a big thank you to Truth TV as well for always rebroadcasting the leadership platform on TV. We're grateful. All right, so I just want to take you guys through a sneak peek of what's been happening on radio. You may have seen us on TV as well. This week, Uncle Sam and Dr. Yao-Pebi were on 3FM, who happen to be our media partners for Live2Lead, and just take a look at some of the conversations they had. Stay tuned.
And this year, especially in a number of ways, the theme for this year, every year we focus on a theme, and this year is leading for transformation. Renewed minds, changed lives. And we've chosen this specially because everything starts from the mind. The way we think reflects in the way we act, and the way we act become our habit, which then form our character.
That's right.
And eventually our destiny. I mean, today in Ghana, we are talking Galamsey and how it's affecting our lives.
That's right.
Where did it start from? From the mind. Even the way we are discussing, when you look at the mindset that we are using to discuss this problem, when we all know where it is taking us, why is it so? We all know. If we continue with the same mindset, we know that in 10 years, all of us will be drinking mad. But are we changing our minds about it? If we don't change the way we are thinking about the problem will persist. And this is what Live2Lead this year is about.
So that's the theme, leading for transformation, renewed minds, changed lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Who should attend Live2Lead 2024?
Everyone. We talk about how everything rises and falls on leadership, but also everyone has a certain level of leadership. I remember when we started teaching leadership about 20 years ago, people say, oh, if everybody's a leader, who will sell the kenke for who to buy? But you don't realize that the one who's selling kenke is leading. You may buy that kenke and run for the rest of the week because somebody did not take responsibility as a leader. So everyone, we are particularly targeting corporate leaders, leaders of institutions. We're asking people to come with your leadership team, with your management team, especially for the round tables. It's good if you can be on a table and share ideas together. But having said that, we also invite emerging leaders. For a number of years, we've been getting people from certain universities, or even secondary school, because there are different levels of leadership, and we cannot just change things at the top. It has to be at every level.
Okay. So that was a snippet from our, media tours. So please, if you catch us on TV or radio, just send us a shout out. So Live2Lead is coming up, and we are ramping up some energy for it in about 19 days to go. So if you haven't got your tickets, what are you waiting for? All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for connecting. We'd love to hear from you. Introduce yourself in the comment section. I see Olivia Okine has also joined us, and a few others as well. All right. So tonight we have a special guest. As you all know, we bring you only the best on the leadership platform. Today, we're going to be discussing a topic called leading by example. Leading by example. That's a very, very powerful topic. And I hope that you would also pitch in with your examples, pitch in with your experiences. And we're going to be having Emma Lindate, our guest for tonight. She's also a co-host of the Live2Lead. Just a little bit about her before we start. She's an amazing lady. She's a public speaker. She's an HR consultant. She calls herself the event engineer and the CEO of ICS Africa Limited. And today she's going to be joining us to lead the discussion on leading by example. So if you're ready, as I am, let's just give her a warm welcome. Emmeline, to you. Thank you for joining the leadership platform. Hello.
Thank you for having me. Can you hear me, Joy?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. How are you doing today?
Very good, thank you. And yourself?
So far so good, my dear.
Good.
Right.
It's good to have you.
So,
it's good to have you.
How many days is it to Live2Lead, Joy? How many days is it to Live2Lead?
We're now at 19 days. 19 days to Live2Lead. Can you believe
wow.
it?
In fact,
Yes.
I can't believe it. A few moments ago it was 30 days, it's 19 days. I just wanted to use the opportunity to just, encourage people. If you've not bought your ticket, what are you waiting for? I don't know what you're waiting for. This is the train you need to join. You need to be part of this event. It's mind-blowing, it's transformational, it's everything that needs to be part. We sit on the sidelines and expect things to happen on its own. Nothing happens by chance. We need to be intentional. And I just wanted to just, use this opportunity to push, as we've all been pushing already. Please log in www.live2lead Ghana. What's the website again, Joy?
It's Live2Lead Ghana, live2leadghana.com.
Ghana.com, right? .com.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or just visit our social media. You know, we will definitely get to you. Or DM me. I'll sort you out. DM me, I'll sort you out.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. Thank you.
So
Thank you,
Joy.
Emmeline. Yeah. So leading by example, first of all, I mean, why did you choose this topic? I know it has a special place in your heart.
Ha.
Did
Joy. Honestly, one of the key um factors of leadership that John Maxwell teaches is that people don't listen to what you say.
Mm,
They are inspired by what you do.
mm,
That is it. And for me, the biggest factor of influential leadership,
mm,
where a leader puts his hands in the same mud with the people and gets things done. You don't just sit in your high office and give rules and expect people, you know, to what's it called? Just because you own a position of power, that they will do exactly as you ask them to do. No, it doesn't work like that. Leadership is about influencing people. Now, Joy, how would you be influenced by me?
mm,
It is because you think that I life, I walk the walk, I talk the talk. That
mm.
is leadership. Even people who may not be, there are certain people unruly, they don't like laws, but they respect people like that. Eventually, you are the person that people look forward to, you know,
Yeah.
believing in you, following you. You are the one to make that difference. And with you, I will follow you to the end. So for me, I'm very passionate about living by example, because that is
Mm,
the easiest way for another human being to believe in what you're saying.
yeah.
If I were to tell you that a medication you stop coughing and I'm coughing, Joy, would you buy the medication from me?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
What I was talking about here. So that is why I'm so
Mm,
passionate about leading and living. It's live to lead, but you
yeah.
can also live to lead by example. That's it.
Mm. I mean,
That's it.
this afternoon I was listening to, I think I caught a live that was going on John Maxwell's Facebook page, and Roddy
Mm-hmm.
was teaching about the art of speaking or creating content. And one of the things, he played a snippet of John's video, and John was saying that you cannot share content or you cannot speak anywhere without being in the story. You need to be in the game, because
Thank you.
how do you tell somebody
Thank
to walk
you.
a walk that you haven't been there yourself? So I found that
Honestly,
video very powerful, that leading by example is actually very pivotal to influence. And then this week, when Sam and Dr. Yao were on the radio, he
the
said
3 FM.
something that,
Mhm.
yes, on 3FM, he said, we're telling the young people, oh, to have integrity, to have courage, to lead well. But what example are they seeing? What example are they
Exactly.
seeing? And it's very
Exactly.
confusing, because it's like telling somebody to walk a certain path with their backs, to walk backwards. Because I can't see the good example, yet you're telling me to do something. It's very confusing. So
It
I'm happy
doesn't work.
that it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work like that. You see, where go to the corporate sector. You have a CEO, executive management telling employees to sacrifice, and they're not sacrificing. You are in your business, and you need to cut salaries, Joy. And then you as executive management, you don't cut your salaries. Seriously, how are you going to inspire hope? It's not going to work. And the kind of respect you need to earn from people to do exactly as you ask them to, you won't get. So the easiest way to make people do what they need to do is by being an example, being in the story, being in the arena. If not, what is the use? So many people are aggrieved today because they have leaders in the other. So there are some companies where you will punish, an HR will be made to punish a staff for committing, a malfeasance. But that same management will one of them will commit a very serious crime, like serious offense, and will go scot-free. Joy. How are we gonna inspire leadership across all levels of the company? And these are things happening, my sister. These are things happening in Ghana, in the corporate world, and obviously we see what's happening in the political sector and all of that. Even in our religious sects, okay, we are not living as an example. Us who are Christians, why do we love Jesus? When he was here, the Bible records there is no pain, there is no affliction, there is no stress he doesn't understand for him not to be moved by ours. Because he could not have been Lord if he had not walked the walk. Even him had to come and walk the walk. And that is why this topic, empathetic leadership, for me is important. The reason why many leaders in Africa are failing is because we lack empathy. And in our nature, unfortunately, we are not empathetic, which is very weird. We're supposed to be a continent where we are social, we're communal, we are family-centered. But Joy, break it down into our traditional sects, our families. We don't even love each other. We don't care for each other. How in God's name? And they say, well, charity begins at home. Is that not it? How do you want the younger generation, to also grow up? Who do you want them to become? What do you want them to become? And so anybody who is responsible, accountable to any human being, any project, must first of all show us how it is done. Now, it does not mean that if you're a leader, if you are leading a company, you must have all the talents that all your thing is. There's a general principle, a general rule that applies to everybody. You should not be above the law. Whatever there's a law of life or the law of man, if it applies to the carpenter, if it applies to the man of straw, it must apply to the man of substance. And so today we have lawmakers who make laws and are breaking the laws. How would a country like that thrive? How will a country like that survive? Because every country will be tested by external forces. It is how strong we are internally that will help us to navigate through external. But enough that what other countries that probably have matured before us are going through, that we can go through the same thing. Now, the difference between us is not the fact that we all cannot face the music. The difference is that somebody is prepared and the other person is not. So when we are talking about we are focused on transformational leadership. You cannot be transformed as a leader if you don't lead by example. Joy. It's as simple as that. You cannot be transformed. You cannot transform anyone if you are not living and leading by example.
Very interesting. Emma, can I just ask this question? I mean, I know John Maxwell is a mentor, but who would you say has maybe led well, which you follow, or which their leadership inspires you to do what you're doing now, aside John? I mean, for all of us we'll mention John first. So.
Yes, we gotta mention John first. So one of the current leader I admire so much is the president of Rwanda, Paul. I just love that human being.
Yeah.
Getting to understand the story, the Rwandan story, and how when everybody had given up on that country, even the UN had delayed, in responding to their plea, he decided to take it on. So listen, I can't expect somebody to come and help my country when I am here. That's the thing. Foreign aid. It's not no problem. Even America, they get aid. The question is, what are you doing as a people? Your part, your quota. You played for you to now come and say, you know what, Joy? I've done all I can do. I've exhausted my resources. Please come and help me. This man decided to form an alliance with other African leaders that would have his back and put an end to a horrible destiny of his country. I was surprised that he won again, but imagine he won. My only fear for that kind of leadership is that there is no succession. I don't see succession because human beings are mortal. We have an expiration date. So Rwanda cannot be in a position where Paul says, being that having men and women with the same mind, the same heart, same values, that is sustaining that country today. John Rawlings, the late, was a man I admired as well, for the aspect where he wasn't just a man who says do this. You will see this man, I mean, we have records. He's building with the people, he's digging with the people, he's pull up his sleeves, working with the people. Outside all his extremities, that was one aspect of him I really admire so much, you know. And then I obviously love Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama, she's a dude. When you hear her story, from where she started, from humble beginnings, took advantage of where she was, and today, even after being first lady for how many years ago was she first lady, Joy? More than 8 years ago.
In a while, yeah.
This woman is still revered. Why? She lives by example. You know, so these are the few people I can speak about. I mean, there are other people who people don't know, about it because of the limelight and everything. But these are the people that I really, really, really admire because of their leadership by example. I mean, when you go to Asia, the things that you would find. I mean, when you get to Emirates and all of those things, that is the reason why certain countries have strong GDPs. Their currency is not weak. Employment is not a problem. There's some countries you'll never hear anything about them. They have low criminal rates. In fact, if I continue speaking, it's going to be very pathetic because we're asking ourselves that. So we in Ghana, what makes us
What's
different?
happened to us?
And it's not like as if we don't have the people that can think and behave. We have them. But I said something the last time. I said, Ghana does not have a leadership problem only. Ghana has a followership problem. We will not put a leader that we know will do the work. We want a leader that will tolerate our excesses and our unseriousness, our indiscipline. So a leader for me is a reflection of the people. That's my belief. A leader is a reflection of the people. So Mali, Niger, and Burkina, when the coup happened, for the first time, the citizens were not against coup. They were happy. They felt liberated. The people, the leader, is a reflection of the people. However, we do have people, but we have some people who, for like when people and then this gentleman still won. But still, the people that voted, and if let's assume people claim that there was a rigging. Human beings did it for the president rig himself. He didn't do that himself.
No, people
so
voted.
Still, however you look at it, the people are a reflection of when the leader is a reflection of the people. When Donald Trump won, the Republicans and other people who were tired, who wanted something new, said, "Well, let's try this man and see." And so they voted for him, and now he's coming back again because he really now he's telling to come back again. He will only win if the masses say they want this man back. So let us, as people who are being governed, also have a self-introspection of ourselves. What do we really want?
Yeah.
Do we want Ghana to get to a point where other countries have been so marred and broken before we decide to do the right thing? Or will we use common sense and say, you know what? Enough is enough. This nonsense must stop. It is time for us to toe the line of prosperity by walking or embracing leadership, a leadership that is on values and principles that generation upon generation to come would be able to be sustained, and the Ghanaian dream will become a reality, my sister.
So there's a quote that was shared while we were planning this event, and the quote said, "When the leader lacks confidence, followers lack commitment." And this is a quote by John Maxwell.
That's powerful. John is always dropping it hot.
Yeah. And I think that also there's this part that I want to also talk about where we said leading by example, the importance of walking the talk and how your actions can inspire and motivate those around you. But my question is, are you always able to inspire those around you, even if you're doing the right thing? Or how can one begin to move from maybe doing the right thing or talking the right way to now having that influence on those around them? Because I think it's one thing to be doing the right thing in your corner. Somebody may see you and admire you, but when does it move from being, something that you alone embody to now having your neighbors copy what you're doing, having your church members, having your even your children look at you and wants to be like you? Because there have been so many leaders who have passed through this world. I mean, decades, centuries ago. But why do we refer to some people? Why do we quote certain people and we don't quote others? Why are some forgotten and why are some remembered? Maybe from your experience, your how you are leading your teams, any tips or any pointers around how you can now move from embodying this value in yourself to getting people around you to now feel the vibe, feel the vibe, and embrace it and begin to walk like you. Yeah, let me put it that way. How do
So in
you
my
do it?
experience, and it still comes back
Yeah,
to, living and leading by example. In my
yeah,
experience, I've had people follow me because they see the life I live. So currently I'm involved in a lot of things. Youth empowerment, SME support, public speaking, forward. And many times I tell myself that, listen, I am not doing these things for me per se. I'm doing to look up to me. Because somebody has to look at me and say it is possible, right?
yeah,
I am not the kind of leader that sits back. My team they delve into, the battle. I go into the battleground with my team. Out of a lot of things I do, we do events engineering, and there was a time where we were handling an event and something went wrong. Now events can be so stressful, and when you have technical issues and there's no plan B, it's horrible. So usually when something goes wrong, I have trained my people. Listen, when anything goes wrong, I don't want you to beat about the bush and get confused. Let me know and let's begin to brainstorm. I don't like surprises. So they have a habit of getting to me to tell me, okay, this is we've tried the alternative, it hasn't worked out. The first thing I tell them is to calm down. And before I tell you to calm down, I am calm myself. Okay. I am calm myself. Before I tell you to calm down, I'm already cool. Say, Joy,
yeah,
relax. Because when you panic, you can't think. When you panic, you cannot solve any problem. So get the panic out of your head and say, okay, admit the issue. That is another thing is people admire you when you handle failure confidently. When you're not afraid of failure, people follow you. So I said, listen, yes, the plan has failed. And B, what can we improvise? What can we twist? What can we take? What can we twist and turn? Because whether we like to, these events must happen and it must end well. So when they see the fact that I'm not worried, and you won't see me angry or trying to like, no. I'm going to brainstorm mode immediately. And the moment I go into that mode, they follow. More often than not, the guests don't even notice the problem that we have noticed. And we give a great experience to them. But that's because I inspire what I tell them to do. If you are not a leader that can inspire hope in your people, they will not follow you. There are people who have been living funny lives that the society has said these ones, we are giving up on them. But they have been influenced by somebody else. How? Love, empathy, care.
Yeah.
You didn't just sit down there and say, yeah, God will help you. You need the efforts and say, Joy, how can I make your life different? How can I make your life better? Barely asking that question is enough. You may not even have to do anything, but that you've shown some care. So you need a leader that lives with empathy. You communicate with empathy, high emotional intelligence, and then the leader that is resilient and is not afraid of mistakes or failures. When they see that this is the kind of attribute you carry. My sister, people were supporting Adolf Hitler. Do you remember? Adolf Hitler had followers.
Yeah.
Terrorists have followers. Why? Those people give them a reason to live.
Yeah.
Take a cue from those people, my friends. They're so Christian leaders that are extremists. They have already sorted them out psychologically. Say once you kill yourself, your family is forever sorted. You are fine. This is something you're doing well. You are sacrificing yourself for your family. They twist and turn the unconditional love for their selfish deal, but even that principle is working for them. Now, we who are wiser and don't have that kind of a problem, we will not do that, Joy. It's amazing how we rather steer our energy towards things that hurt people than towards things that actually bring joy to people. So you need to be a person of integrity, character, competence. If not, you cannot live or lead by example. It's not possible.
Yeah.
That is how I have been able to inspire, influence, in the things I do, basically.
I love that. I love that. So you have to lead with love, empathy, communicate with empathy, with care, emotional intelligence, and resilience. And then the last one you talked about competence, because leadership at the end of the day, it's about results. So if you get the job done, people know that you were there, you're putting yourself out there in the face of failure, challenges to get the job done. I mean, you look at Martin Luther King. It's he probably didn't get the whole of America, to equalize the playing ground, but then he got a critical mass of people to fight even after he died. So
Absolutely.
if you get the result, you put yourself out there. You are fearless. You are courageous. I mean, like you're saying. I remember back in high school. I mean, I was a leader there, and I was always skeptical about leadership because I always thought leadership was, you needed to have this force. There used to be some prefects and leaders who used to shout. They had deep voices, they had big volumes, and some of us didn't have the volumes like that. So it was always a point where you were always skeptical about your leadership, how you are. Am I going to be a powerful leader? But 4 years fast forward, I mean, I remember being honored as the best prefect at an SRC awards, and I just kept on asking myself, what caused them to reward me with this honor? Because there were tons of leaders.
Other people.
And when we finished the ceremony, I met a junior, and she said, "You always make us feel valued. You punish us, but you make us feel valued." I remember just bursting into
Oh,
tears when I heard that, because I never thought I would be a good leader, because maybe I don't have the voice, I don't have the boisterous nature. But then, like you're saying, to make an impact, you lead with love, you care about the people. It's all about the people. Uncle Sam
that's
always
it.
has he has this quote that he says that, if you can love somebody and not lead the person, but you cannot lead if you don't love the people. If you don't love them, you cannot lead them. And it's very evident. It's very evident in the way our leadership is in this country, that I think about people who are two-wheelers. I think about the disabled in this country. And every single time I think about that, my heart really bleeds, because how are you expecting somebody on a wheelchair to get from Medina to Lagos? Where? How? If somebody was thinking about two-wheelers, something will be done about two-wheelers. If somebody
Absolutely.
cared about two-wheelers, so these are some of the dynamics that, leaders are remembered because they love, they empathize, they care, and they're also very competent. So thank you for sharing those thoughts. I'd just like to bring Uncle Sam and Sarah on, maybe just to challenge this thought a little bit, share their experiences on leading by example. I mean, Sarah and Uncle Sam have been around for much longer than we have been. So I'll just also like to pick their thoughts on, how they have seen this play out. What's the power of leading by example rather than speaking and commanding and telling people what to do? All right. So, guys, thank you for your comments. Keep them coming. I see Olivia, Doris. Thank you so much for your comments. Welcome, Sarah. Welcome, Uncle Sam.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You ladies are rocking. You are rocking. Doing great.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes.
Emmeline and myself are in the same room, as you can tell.
We are both in Geneva. Don't get it twisted. We are both in Geneva. Thank you. We've left some
Oh,
enjoy in Ghana.
the power of technology.
I tell you. I tell you.
I
So,
tell you.
yeah,
I
as
tell you.
Emmeline was speaking, what really came into mind is, I think it must be the 13th law in the irrefutable laws of leadership, by the 21 laws of irrefutable laws of
Yeah.
leadership. It says the law of the picture. And that really encapsulates leading by example, modeling it out. And Emmeline, I'm really glad that you touched upon the issue of values, the values and ethics, as well as really living it out, the practical side of leadership, demonstrating. So it's the behavior, these three things, if you are modeling out leadership and these three things are not present, then, I mean, you're not a leader, right? Or it's not that you're
Absolutely.
not a leader,
Absolutely.
but you're not leading well. So the issue of values really, really resonates with me, and the work ethics, as well as the behavior that leaders should demonstrate. But I would like you to speak a little bit about um, what will be the signs that leaders are not leading confidently. What could be some of the key issues that will help us to recognize this lack of confidence? I will explain. From my point, lack of consistency. Whatever you say, you're not doing. So, what could be some of the issues that will help us to identify this when we are not leading in the proper way?
And okay, so one of the key attributes of a leader is that a leader takes risks. Um, a leader shows up when it's difficult. A leader doesn't run away from challenges. So I've worked in organizations where I've seen leaders run away from responsibilities. They blame game, then they put all the blame on the staff, on the followers. That is a confident leader. I've
Mm-hmm.
also seen confident would not give sense of power to, in the form of delegation, to subordinates, because I'm the owner. I own CTL Africa. Nobody can work for me. Nobody can do like me. So I've seen that in organizations. And those things will tell you that these leaders are not confident. Being bossy is not being confident. They are two different things. Being bossy is not confidence. Confidence is admitting, and that's the thing that Uncle Sam has been complaining about. In our political sector, and I've also seen this in the corporate sector, either you have messed up. There's nothing wrong with leaders messing up. You're a human being. But the problem is we don't admit that we have messed up. And it almost seems like as if, as a leader, you're not supposed to admit that you made a mistake. No. Leaders make mistakes, but leaders learn from the mistakes and inspire others from the lessons they made from their mistakes.
Excellent.
But I think in part of the world, we're so cultural, sis, that the older people are always right. Senior people are always right. Whether in age or position, you should put up a front. That is why Ghana, for example, is where it is today. We don't, from the homes to the corridors of power, we lack a lot of confident people, because traditionally we have a certain culture that fits that, and we need to let go of those old what do we call it? Old ideas, and let's embrace new things. Leaders evolve. A confident leader would evolve. A confident leader will not say, we've been doing it this way, we're not changing it. It's killing you, it's killing your employees, it's killing your country, it's killing your business, because you are fixated on your way, or fixated in the things you do. And only a foolish or a mad person accepts different results, or expects different results when you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And that is the problem. So, Coach Sarah, these are the things when you see from anybody, that person does not have confidence.
Exactly. Thank you. So you really summed it up with what Einstein always says, that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again.
Over and over again and expecting different
results. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'll step back a little bit and give Sam the space if he has some questions and contribution. Over to you, Uncle Sam.
Well, thank you, ladies, and I'm just learning and enjoying the discussion. But the subject we are discussing is so important. I remember when I was in corporate life, when we joined the organization, we had a CEO who was new, and one of the first things he decided to change was, before he came, we had all this parking with all the labels: CEO, deputy CEO, general manager, this, so that's all the parking with all those labels. So when the general manager is not there, nobody will park in his place. So when he came, he says, but what is all these things? They say, oh, but these are for seniors. He said, guys, can you remove all these things? And people were like, no, but boss, he says, please, can you remove all these things? Let the parking be available. Those who come, they should park. If you come late, park out in the sun. People were like, what is this guy? They asked him, but should we remove the one for the CEOs? He says, I say remove everything. So remove all the parking, the labels, and he told his driver, when you come and there's no space, park anywhere. But the good thing was that his point was that if you want to get a good place to park, come to the work early. We have time to start. Mm-hmm. And that was not the end. He was always the first in the office. Mm-hmm. When he came, people were coming to work anytime they wanted. He never did anything. He just came. We started work then at 7:30. By 7:37, he's already there, seated at his desk. And once he comes to sit his desk, he walks to your office. He's asking for his file. Where is Sam? Sam is not there. Where is
wow.
Lawrence? Lawrence is where is all right. When he comes, you should come and see me. Then people started running around. They said, hey, the boss is looking for you. They will call you on your phone. The boss is looking for you. What does he want? We don't know what he wants. Within a very short time, everybody tried to come to work before he came.
Mm-hmm.
The whole culture changed just because of his example. He came to work. It didn't stop there. He would be in the office, finish his work, he clears his desk before he goes home. So he's almost always the last. So this business of it was 5 o'clock, everybody has taken his bag. He's running away from the office. Without any memo, people sat in the office and did their work. So, I mean, for me, over a period, his example, his work ethic just rubbed over all of us. Now, I think just this week or something, I think one of somebody who worked for me and left came here. And then he was like, Mr. Yim, do you know what I like about you? You know, you are on your own. You can stay home, you can sleep, but every day you wake up, you leave your house in Bawe and you come here. And I said, well, it's the discipline that I learned from Mr. Arnold Ekwe. He's the person I'm talking about. He was then the group CEO of EcoBank. Now, if I'm working, I'm working. If I'm home, I feel like I'm home. I'm relaxed.
I'm home.
But once I know that I am here, when I come, I put off my laptop and I'm doing the things I have to do at work. When I finish and I go home, I'm doing the things as I'm, so it's an example. Mm-hmm. And I tell you again, this CEO received an email, immediately he responds to it. And he says, if somebody sends you a mail and you don't answer it, it's disrespectful.
Yep.
So even if it's something he has to read,
absolutely,
he will send you a reply and say, I've seen it, I'll come back to you. And he will say, I'll come back to you in 2 days, in 20 hours, at 8 o'clock. And by then he will come back to you. So this became a culture in the organization without any memo. So when, and Sarah mentioned it, when the law of leadership talk about the law of the picture, we learn in pictures, especially the children learn in pictures. Actually, this was it this morning or something. I was listening to Home Affairs on Joy FM, and the host was referring to a discussion which I also heard. They brought some children and they asked them about how their parents treat them, and they are thinking about parents, and finally they say at the end, they say, okay, so you children, you've said a lot, now your final words, what do you say to your parents? Talk to your parents. One of them says, all I will say to our parents is that our parents, we are watching you.
Awesome. Good one.
We are watching you. And that's true. The children are watching. It's not what it says. It's not what you tell us. It's not the shout you shout on us. It's not what you tell us. We know. We see what you are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a very, very powerful image of what leading by example.
Thank you.
Okay, so you tell your children, don't drink, don't smoke, and you send them every day to go and buy cigarettes for you.
What are you talking about?
When they grow up and they are smoking weed, you say, no, where did he learn it from? You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Sam,
So,
you are dropping bars.
Yes. You know
so
that.
I just want to, and what it takes actually to lead by example means, and it goes back to the other principle of leading yourself.
Yeah,
Because to lead by
absolutely.
example, it
You need to
means
lead yourself.
you have to be hard on yourself. You have to be able to lead yourself well in order for others to follow you. Because if you're not leading yourself well, then nobody will follow you. By the way, who should follow you if you yourself, you cannot follow yourself?
Follow yourself.
You know.
That was it.
So,
That was
and
it.
those
That
are
was
some
it.
of the thoughts I just wanted to add to the all the good things that that Emmeline and Joy and Sarah have shared. And I think that,
Super.
the reason why this year we are talking about leading for transformation, renewed minds, changed life is also because of this. And if you come to Live2Lead, you're going to even learn even more powerful things about how you can transform yourself, because it is the transformation that enables you to lead the qualitative leadership. It is, and my good friend, Dr. Pebi, I like to quote him. He says, it takes deeply transformed people
Absolutely.
to deeply transform anything.
Yeah, you said that. That's true.
If you're not transformed, if you're not transformed yourself, you cannot transform others. You cannot transform things. And the reason this country is not being transformed is that we have had leaders who themselves are not transformed.
Transform
And they are just
mentally.
superficial. They're just there for themselves. They are not there for you. And that kind of image is what the people are seeing. Now, if the corruption is at the top, if the minister is corrupt, if the president level there's corruption, how will you tell the public servants not to steal? The nurses working in the hospital, why will you tell them not to steal medicine when they know that the minister who did the contract for the acquisition of those medicines has taken his cut? The thing was 400. They have done a bill of 1 million. And the minister has taken his share, the other has taken, everybody is stealing. And they are competing among themselves, and they are saying, oh, yeah, I'm corrupt, but you are more corrupt than me. Yeah, we pollute the environment, but you polluted more than I did. So the example that we are seeing is actually the negative ones. And if we continue to see negative examples of leadership, then we are not going to have good leadership, because the fish rots from the head. If
I
we're going to
know.
change
Sadly.
anything, we need a deep transformation from the very top. And I like it when, Emily, you talk about Paul Kagame. I mean, I've been to Rwanda, and when we set up the bank in Rwanda, you went to the Ministry of Finance. In fact, the first time when we met Kagame and we discussed the concept of setting up the bank in his office, he just said, okay, go to this office, and this is a good idea. I'm telling you, 24 hours, the bank was registered.
Wow.
And when you went to the office, the ministry, the place was quiet. And I mean, so we asked, what's going on? And the people were, what do you mean by what's going on? Everybody is busy working. Everybody was working. Go to our ministries here. And people are shouting, people have switched on their radios, people are staking lotos.
Yes.
Discipline.
Oh, sir, we've lost it in this
And
country,
it's from the top. It's from the top. So, I mean, these are things we can share but it takes individual responsibility to be able to do that. Immediately we can get the top. And when we talk the top, I mean, as a nation, we'll be talking from the presidency, but in your small way, you head a department. It starts from there.
Yeah.
You lead a church. It starts from there. You are the club president, SRC president. It starts from there. I remember we launched, Joy, you remember, we launched the Young
Y3L. Yeah.
Learning Lab, and we invited the SRCs of some universities to come. And I'm not going to mention which university who came. And, the SRC president came, and all his people around, and they have some very big names, and it was all about the title and the fanfare, and they are calling him excellency. They are calling him excellency.
Can you believe it?
Everybody in Ghana here, my friend said, immediately we vote for them, the next morning they become excellencies and honorables. And we that voted them become the ordinary Ghanaian. Because leadership has become a matter of titles. And what we are saying is that we don't need those titles. We don't need those. We need action. We need example, positive, good example. We need integrity. We need character. We need leaders who are, showing that they are there for us. It's not the leaders who sit in parliament and say that we should give them sirens so that they can reach the speed limit. They can drive in town anyhow they want. When there's traffic, nobody will stop them. The police are stopping them. When they are breaking the rules, the police is stopping them. You go to UK, the prime minister was charged for traffic offense. Other countries, they charge their ministers for breaking the law. But here we want to be giving, as leaders, giving. Immediately the minister has this siren. You know what happens? When they have the siren in traffic, you watch what happens. Immediately they break the traffic and they are going. All the other people follow them.
Follow them.
So that is leadership by example. That is the example. So everybody leaves the queue and they start following them. Then sometimes the police will go and stop them from following. This is the example you are giving. Why are you stopping the people from following the example? If it is not good, why are you doing it? Why are you doing it if it is not good? So those are some of the thoughts that I just wanted to share. Thank you very much, Joy.
Thank you. Thank you. This is wonderful. And one of the things that I'm taking away from this conversation is that to lead by example, there's an element of consistency. They need to see you doing the same thing, sticking to your word, keeping your word over a period of time. And with technology, I mean, I've heard about it, but I wasn't sure which country, but I just checked, and Australia and maybe some other countries have used AI or technology to be able to scan to see when an emergency service vehicle is approaching. And so the red light turns green for them to cross the lights. Because the rule is you don't have to cross red. The moment people are crossing red, I mean, it's like it's an unconscious signal you are sending that we can all now break the rule.
Yeah.
So the law is clear that we can't break the traffic by crossing the red light. So they've designed a technology to ensure that if an emergency service is crossing, it's got to be green. And that speaks to the consistency. It speaks to because now you're catching people. You are hiding by the what do you call it, the traffic lights to catch people who are crossing the red light. It doesn't make any sense. And for me, I think that one of the things that I would just advocate very strongly for leaders is, if you want to lead by example, just be consistent with your word, keep your word, and you will change culture. I mean, for me, I've stopped talking about government. I've even stopped using the word government, because even those in government are blaming government. I don't know who they are blaming, but
no, they are complaining about the problems. They are with us complaining about that.
now
I'm saying
we are saying government, they are saying MPP
the
government
people.
or NDC government. I mean, I've stopped that word government because I think that if I want to, like Sam's example, I need to start doing something that will get people to look at this. Say, okay, I think it's possible to stop at a red light. I think it's possible that 11 p.m. when it's red and there's no traffic, there's no car, I'm still going to stop. These are the little things that gets people to watch, learn, and they begin to practice. And so I just encourage all leaders, political leaders, government leaders, that this is very key. I mean, words are not enough. We need to start to see action, change of behavior. That you have your siren, you get to the red light, we all stop. If you don't want to stop, let's fix the traffic situation. As simple as that. You know, what does it take? So those are the things that some leaders, like Emmeline was trying to describe, that if you're not brave, you play the blame game. And the moment she said it, I said, these are signs that our leaders are not confident, our leaders are not courageous, because they are playing the blame game. They can't take responsibility. So this is huge, and I think that we've gotten to the point where we'll just re-emphasize our Live to Lead program, and these are the things that we're going to talk about. We're going to sit around tables. We're going to have table talks. We're going to listen to keynotes from world-class leaders who are walking the talk. If you've ever been listened to John Maxwell, you know he never shares anything he hasn't lived by. All the speakers he handpicks, if you listen to their stories, they are sharing their own life, how they have overcome, like Shante Lowe, who is going to talk about self-leadership, how somebody can overcome the flesh or self, you know, and train as an Olympian, win gold medals, and have to beat cancer as well through positive self-talk and all of that. This is her story she's going to be sharing. And we're going to see how she did it. You know, so that's why you have to be in this particular room. It's not your regular leadership conference. It's not your regular conference where we just talk. This is actionable, practical sessions where you're going to leave with an action plan, I believe, for at least the next 12 months. So be in the room. We also have speakers like Kwame Pianim, Mr. Kwame Pianim. Uncle Sam always talks about this story of his about leading in prison to ensure that when he was leaving, the prison was even wealthier than he met it. That takes an extraordinary mindset and an extraordinary leadership skill. Brandon Dawson, for all the entrepreneurs who are going to be in the room, founders, business leaders, if you want to exponentially grow your business, this is the session that you have to be at. I'll just put up this so that you can take a look at some of the pictures down there. Okay, so Brandon Dawson, Akosia Bami is going to talk about mindset revolution, the mind, and she's written a book on that, and she's going to be sharing her thoughts on that. Lawyer David Dote is going to be there. For those of you who've been hearing him on the airwaves, he has some really amazing ideas on how corporates can transform their businesses and their organizations. So you're welcome to be there. We'll just share the link for you to register in the chat so that you can pick it up and then register as soon as possible. We also welcome leaders of organizations to register for a table. So you can just book a table at Live2Lead, a table for 8, and you get it for the price of 7. So you can just send us a comment, leave us your details, and bring your leadership team, because they say when families eat together, they stick together. When leaders learn together, they stick together and they grow together. So we want you to come with your team. Don't come alone. All right. Any last? Yes.
Joe, I just want to say that for the table of 8, friends can get together and then get a table, and that will come out cheaper for them. So don't wait for your team. If you don't have a team, just come get 8 of your friends and you pay 7. All of you pay, and then you do get a good discount.
Yes. All right. that's the flyer. If you also want to be able to share and announce this also maybe in your churches, in your groups, on your WhatsApp pages, please just give us a prompt in the chat, and we would share this material with you to help us push this program forward. Yes. All right. Emmeline, maybe I'll just let you share if your final words with us, and then we'll pick any comments and questions we have in the chat, and then we'll call it a night.
Okay. A lot of golden nuggets has been shared this evening, but this evening I just want to add and say, listen, everything rises and falls on leadership. The future of our continent, the great largely depends on how well we are able to lead ourselves, as Sam has said. If you're not faithful to yourself when nobody's watching, you cannot be faithful in public. What you do in private, what you do in private would show in public eventually. As leaders, let us learn the habit of admitting our faults, understand that we are also not as perfect people we are leading. And so vulnerable. Let us lead in vulnerability. Let us lead empathetically. Let us lead with emotional intelligence. Let us set goals. Let us handle failures well. Let us align our actions with our core values and objectives. Let us show dedication towards our task and responsibility by demonstrating commitment. Let us be transparent and open with our followers. Let's learn from mistakes and show resilience. It's very, very important for us to maintain consistency, to balance our approach, authority with approachability, and obviously to engage in continuous self-improvement, encourage feedback, and live with empathy. That is why we are saying, join us on the 4th of October 2024 at the new PSC Auditorium for Live to Lead 24. It's all about transformation, renewed minds, changing our thought patterns, position ourselves and expect and creating the path for our generations, born and unborn, to also come and enjoy what it is that God has given us as Africans. We are rooting for you, so we'll see you there live and colored. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emmeline. We appreciate you so much for coming on. I'll just bring you back so that we can say a proper thank you to you for all the support, planning this conference. And we know you are going to be in the room. Emmeline has actually been our, MC for Live to Lead. I don't know how many years, but in many pictures I have seen, she's been our MC. So if you want to meet Emmeline, please come for Live to Lead. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate your time and your efforts for coming. Do you have a good night? And please stay around when we are done for a quick debrief. All right. So thank you, everyone. Sarah, any last words, Uncle Sam, so that we wrap up for the night?
Yes, yes. Just to say, everybody, I mean, this is once a year that you need to invest in yourself. When you do invest in yourself, the returns that come to you are many. I have invested in myself over the years, and I've seen the returns. And this is what I want for myself, is what I want for you. So please don't buy the wache, save the wache money, and come. When you do come, you will be able to get more return, and you can buy more wache afterwards. Over to you, Uncle Sam.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And I want to encourage everybody. If you're on the call, please call your head of HR, call your boss, call your colleagues, talk to your church leaders. Let them nominate some of the people to the conference. Call us, go to our website. If we need to come to speak to your boss, to your HR, to your teams, to explain things to them, we'll be ready to come. Even if you have to come to your church, we will be able to come and talk to your people. But bring people in, encourage others to join, and let us do this together. You can only lead to the level which you have developed yourself. And Sarah has said it. Add value to yourself, invest in yourself, and the more value you add to yourself, the more value you'll be able to add to others. So be in the room. Don't like one comedian on Joy said, don't be a loose. So don't be a loose, please be in the room. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Uncle Sam. So be in the room. That's our hashtag, honestly. You've got to be in the room. The energy is going to be high, it's going to be charged, you're going to be inspired, you're going to meet new people. And if you're listening to us for the first time and you've not checked us out, you're asking, what does it cost for me to be there? So we have a virtual section. So it's a hybrid conference. You can join online if you're not in Accra or you not be able to travel to join us. So for $79, which is around 1,250 Ghana cedis, you can get yourself a virtual pass, and that would help you to get connected for the day. And then for 5 days, you have access to that session and 10 bonus videos. I mean, I had the privilege of joining in 2022. Sarah Jessie gifted me, that time I wasn't even close to this community. She gifted me a free virtual pass. And I remember locking the door for my home office, and I told everybody that today I'm spending the whole day to learn. And some of the things I learned from Live2Lead 2 years or almost 3 years ago, I haven't forgotten them. That's how powerful they are. When John talked about the law of communication, those things haven't left me. So I can tell you that you're not going to waste money. So you can get a virtual pass, and then for your in-person, you're going to get connected with other business leaders, strike business connections, and then you get to have lunch. We get to eat together, we get to break bread, and then you get your conference pack and just enjoy good, beautiful ambience for 2,500 Ghana cedis. And last week, Dr. Pebby said, it's something you're committing. It's not for free, and you have to invest in yourself. And this is an investment that will reap a lot of returns for you in the future, as Sarah Jessie said. So those are the two options you can join, virtual and in person, and we'll be happy to have you in the room. All right, so thank you all so much. I saw some comments coming in while we were talking, and I love the spirit and all of us resonating with the topic of leading by example. So as you go out there, be that light where you are. Be that light where you are. Light only shines in darkness. So be that light where you are. We wish you guys a very good night. And then, yes, if you're joining in person as well, you have access to the same online platform with your password, with your username, and you're able to connect 5 days after the in-person session. So you get the same thing as the virtual audience. Yes, I just got this in the comments, so I wanted to add that onto you. Thank you so much for spending your evening with us. We wish you a great evening and a great rest of the week. And we hope to see you on the 4th of October. But next week, we'll see you again for another session of the Leadership Platform. I'm Joy Bonsu-Schmutz, your host for tonight, and I wish you a good night. Take care.
Get ready for a transformational experience at Live2Lead Ghana 2024. On October 4th, join Ghana's most influential leaders for a day that will renew your mind and change your life. John Maxwell will guide you on cultivating an abundance mindset. Kwame Penim will reveal how visionary leadership can drive profound societal and organizational transformation. Self-leadership with Olympian Shantelo, be empowered by her story of resilience. To business growth strategies with Brandon Dorsing and team dynamics with Malcolm Gladwell. You gain powerful insights to fuel your success. Don't miss Valerie Burton's energy renewal techniques and Akosia Bami's mindset revolution for deep personal and professional change. David Ofosudote, a reputable lawyer with the 5th largest law firm in Africa, will be speaking on transformation as a corporate strategy. Join us, transform your mindset, and lead for change. Register now at live2leadghana.com.